Hmm? Hello! Woo! Boing!
Welcome. I'm Nick,
I'm Dave.
and this is Cheap Pops.
This is our special video game episode number 2. And we're going to talk about a lot of games, but, I mean, you see I've got Donkey Kong. He's repping Mario. We've got Sonic. We've got Madden. We've got all kinds of games represented. We've got all this. Jason, because, you know, the NES version. And
Plus
64.
Plus the modern day consoles of Jason. You got Batman Arkham Knight, Mortal Kombat Joker, plus Arkham Asylum Joker.
Yeah. It's a good setup. I like all the stuff we've got here. And we've got old school wrestling, you know, Funkos, because we're mainly going to be talking about wrestling video games today, but we have other stuff as well.
Well, we have some surprises, especially some of my gems.
Yeah, your gems, yeah. Well, I'm going to start off with the game that you made me on. He mentioned this game, WCW Backstage Assault, the blue cartridge. I owned this at one point, but I think I traded it in when I really needed money. So I bought it again off of eBay. I don't remember what I paid for it. Maybe like $10, something like
14.
that. 14, whatever. But, you know, I just figured it's something cool to own, and it's a fun game to play. And I just wanted to get it again, so that's what I did.
Right?
So, let's start off with some of the stuff that you brought.
I want to start off by giving you something.
Presents?
Yes!
Yes, presents. Oh, this makes me happy. If you're a wrestling fan, you know, well, maybe not, but Ultimo Dragon, Luchador Extraordinaire from, well, he's Japanese, but he, you know, mainly wrestled in Mexico before he went to WCW and then New Japan. This is an awesome figure. The lime green or teal kind of outfit is what he wore most often, so this is really cool. It's not really a gift because I cashed after the money for this, but still, it's pretty badass. He had a chance to meet Ultimo Dragon at a convention once, so it's really cool. That
and if we ever get a chance to meet him again, we definitely are bringing the action figure to get autographed.
Absolutely, we are. So, what'd you bring with you?
Some wrestling games.
Which I probably have over here, some of them over here as well, which I will show as well. While you're getting those ready, what's the first wrestling game you remember playing?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Remember playing probably on the NES WrestleMania.
That is the first WWF wrestling game ever made.
Yep.
And this man was in it, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Hulk Hogan was in it.
And Andre the Giant.
Was Andre in it?
Yes. Because my brother and I had an Andre the Giant versus Bam Bam Bigelow, and I was Bam Bam Bigelow. My brother goes, how do you pin? How do you pin? All of a sudden, you see Andre the Giant jump on the top rope and BAM! I'm like, that's it. He's dead.
This is the first wrestling game I remember playing. Pro wrestling for the Nintendo. No real branding, you know, no WWF, WCW.
No.
Just pro wrestling. The controls on it are horrible, but for nostalgia's sake, it's fun to play.
Exactly.
So what do you got?
Okay, let's start with this one that I have for the PlayStation. WCW Nitro.
And that is a different cover than is on the PlayStation one.
Yep.
Because Sting is on that cover.
Exactly. Then, don't you have the book of that, though?
WCW Nitro? No, I do not. No.
Well,
no.
shit. Then I got WWF Warzone. You gotta remember Warzone.
Yeah, Warzone was good. Good old Attitude Era stuff.
Then still sticking along with Warzone, same concept and everything. WWF Attitude.
Yep, that's the Acclaim versions. This is, I think the Acclaim ones came after they lost. Yeah, it was after they lost the THQ.
Then they regained with THQ.
Yep.
Then
No, let's not do the greatest wrestling game ever.
The one that my brothers and I played the hell out of. WCW Mayhem.
It was a great game. Great game.
Yes.
And they named a pay-per-view after it as well.
Yes, they did. Save these two for... Well, let's go with back to Backstage Assault.
Yep. Great game. Great game. A lot of these wrestling games are pick up and play.
Yes.
The wrestling games now, you kind of have to use strategy. Most of this stuff you can pick up and play.
Exactly.
You know?
Now we move on to the 3 greatest games that they ever did for the N64.
All right.
I'm going to start with, because I'm going to go right in order, WCW Revenge.
WCW NWO Revenge. Absolutely. Great game.
Then, WWF WrestleMania 2000.
I have it. I don't know where I have it. I have it somewhere around here, but I don't know where.
Please tell me that you have this one to show off, too.
Of course I have. It's the greatest wrestling game ever made. Of course I have.
WWF No Mercy.
Greatest game ever made.
Yes.
Greatest wrestling game ever made.
Way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time.
It's not my favorite game, but this might be the game I consider the greatest game ever made.
For the N64.
No.
For wrestling.
Well, okay, but in my opinion, this is the greatest game ever made. I love this game. I will never stop playing this game.
No.
It's tremendous. Is that all you brought?
Nope, I brought more.
Oh, speaking of WCW NWO Revenge, I have the strategy guide. These things are so cool. I mean, you open it up, and it's full color. They've got all the moves. They've got the wrestler profiles. It's just for all of them.
Yeah.
Even the fake wrestlers, the dead or alive wrestlers and shit, Aki Man and all that stuff. And these are just really cool.
Then, let's pull them up both at the same time, shall we?
Oh, here. I can go on the floor. WCW versus NWO World Tour. Pretty much the same thing. I mean, the N64 games, the controls with the THQ, they were pretty much all the same.
Yes.
But they just kept upgrading as they went along.
And it was so much fun.
They were a lot of fun.
Oh my god. Those are the games that we used to play for hours when we were kids.
So I'll show, I have the No Mercy strategy guide and the WrestleMania 2000. These games, if you can, I mean, they're not hard to find.
No.
I mean, they're really cheap. Get an N64 and play these. They're
exactly.
All right, I got to do this. It's choking the hell out of me. Sorry, Donkey Kong, but you're going. Oh, here, we'll wear it as a head.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So what else you brought with you? WWE WrestleMania 18. Right after they changed it over to WWE.
And I haven't played very much of this, though.
To be honest, I've only played GameCube once in my life.
I want to get a GameCube again just to play that.
Just to play that, yeah. And you like having all those consoles,
yes.
Which I do too. So, and by the way, we are going to be, after we record this, we are going to be going upstairs and we are going to be playing some wrestling games on the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, and on the N64, and we will post those videos. They'll be short. We're just gonna, do a few matches and just put them up as special.
Speaking of N64, I did bring my N64 controller.
Awesome, that's cool.
This is not the original N64 controller because it's black and it don't have Nintendo on it.
Yeah,
it's just a third-party controller.
As long as it works, who cares?
I wanted it because I needed a new controller. It was dirt cheap.
And just so you know, you can't tell, since it's a video game episode, on our off-screen, we have Street Fighter playing on the TV. Yes, the campy Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile version. Yes, I love that movie. It is just like the Super Mario movie. It's so bad that it's good.
Yes!
And Raul Julia absolutely kills it as M. Bison. Totally kills it as M. Bison.
And
this game I have never seen before, as a matter of fact. Lucha Libre for the PS3. I've never seen that game before. We will have to play that.
Yes, we do. I gotta bring the PlayStation 3 so we can play this.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And I got away with that. We can play use the PS5 controller on the PlayStation 3.
Yep, and you'll have to buy that backwards compatible one that you saw up at the video game store.
Now I want to bring out some of my gems.
Your gems, okay, your gems. So they're such gems that they're in a bag. Super Mario 64, great game, great game.
Yes! Then, I want to save that one for last, but everybody will know this one. Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah, that's a really good game.
They have to fucking remaster this.
Hey, easy with the swearing there.
Oh, they gotta remaster this game.
Easy with the F-bombs. We do that a little bit too much.
Then, Flat Out 2. We used to play the hell out of this one, too.
I don't think I ever played any of the Flat Out games.
This one is so much fun. They had it where you can go do stunts and everything.
Nice.
Like bowling and stuff, and throw your guy out of the car to make a strike.
Oh, that's cool.
Then my personal favorite, and I have the tattoo of it, Duke Nukem 64.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played any Duke Nukem games either.
Oh, this just takes me back right here.
And that's the thing about video games. Even when you play new games, eventually there's nostalgia with games.
Yeah.
You know, and you can go to a video game store and you can find a lot of games cheap, especially ones that you had as a kid. And you can always find hookups. Like I have an HDMI hookup where you can plug the AV cables into the TV. It makes it so much easier. And if you can't figure out a way to hook it up to your TV, go on Amazon or something and you will find a way to hook it to your TV.
Exactly, because on Amazon I found the HDMI cable into a PlayStation 2. Right. And I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
So, and I want to put out a personal thank you to Mikey Cheese. For having this and knocking $5 off on it.
That was on his merchandise table, the WCW Hulk Hogan, great action figure.
Yes.
I'm mad that you found that and not me.
They have it on Amazon for $22, and I'm going to pick one up just to have it out of the case.
Yeah, I bought some action figures at that show as well.
And speaking of Hulk Hogan,
we will be talking about those wrestling shows that we went to on our official next episode, episode 18. This is going to be an extra episode, so...
I want to... Speaking of Hulk Hogan, I ordered this off from eBay.
Yeah, nice old school WCW Hulkster shirt. Great stuff.
And not only did I get it in yellow, but I had to get it in red. Yeah,
and he has those at his beach shop, but they don't have the WCW logo on them because legally he can't, because WWF or WWE owns WCW, so he can't put the WWF or WCW logo on stuff. He can do NWO, but he can't, you know. So.
Nope. So I'm glad I found them for $25.
Right. So is that all you got?
Yep.
That's all. Well, you came unprepared because with all the stuff that I've got.
Well, I didn't want to go through. Hey, we still got more video game episodes. I didn't even go through half of the.
We're definitely going to do more, and a buddy of mine is actually going to be coming on for one of them. This one, I don't remember playing this one as a kid. I want to dive into it. Tag Team Wrestling for the NES. Ooh. I really don't remember anything about it, but it was $5, so I said I'm going to pick it up.
Why not?
This one, the graphics on it are horrible. But
yes.
It's got the Road Warriors in their black shoulder pads on the cover. WCW Wrestling. You can't beat that. I mean, and they didn't screw it up and say World Championship Wrestling. They actually just did World Championship Wrestling. So that's really cool. They came out with so many wrestling games for the NES, and these are, I'm not even scratching the surface of the wrestling games.
No.
King of the Ring with Bret Hart, the first King of the Ring from 1993. Great game. Has Hulk Hogan on it, and I would imagine this is the last NES game that Hulk Hogan was on, I'm guessing. Because he left right after that.
God, we're not, like you said, we're not scratching the surface to most of the wrestling games that we
there's so
between
many.
the both of us.
I mean, Xbox, PS1, PS2, PS. I mean, they're every system you can think of had a wrestling game.
Oh my god!
Even the handheld ones like Game Boy and all that. Steel Cage Challenge. I love this one because it is the only one I've ever found with the Mountie on the cover. The Mountie on the cover. That's just... And we met him. Jacques Rougeau. We met him.
That was so much fun meeting
That
him.
was a great... If I hadn't made money that day, it would have been a shit day. But I ended up making money because... No offense to the promoter, but nobody showed up.
What made it so much fun was listening to all the stories from them traveling on the road.
Both Rougeaus were there. Jimmy Hart was there. Dutch Mantell was there. Barry Horowitz was there. The Shockmaster was there. One of the family members of the Anawai family with The Rock, and Fatu and all that, their family. I don't know who he is. I never saw him wrestle. But he was there, and he bought a shitload of action figures from me, so I'm not going to...
Hey, watch your mouth.
Oh, man. See, Mikey Cheese isn't going to be able to share this one, but this is less than we usually do.
Yes,
usually we're dropping F-bombs all over the place, so I'll tell him not to share this one, but we are going to curtail the language a little bit. It was a good day. They told stories because nobody showed up. It was in the middle of a banquet area of a... hotel, and you had to go through through the hotel to find the spot we were at, and there was a Mother's Day brunch going on at the same time, so maybe 3 or 4 people even showed up to come into this thing, and we got our meet and greets out of the way, and then we just sat and listened to them tell stories. I gave Barry Horowitz a pair of Brock Lesnar gloves. He was like, can you knock off on the price? I was like, just take them. They're not selling. Just take them. And I gave a Road Warriors knockoff Lego kind of set to the Shockmaster. So it's really cool that we had that experience.
And who knew Barry Horowitz and Tugboat were so funny?
Oh yeah, they were really.
Oh my god,
it was really great. I wish more people could experience something like that, because we were just dudes sitting at a merch table listening to these guys just riff and talk about old stories, and it was amazing. Most people don't get that,
No.
And I got, I did my picture with the Rougeaus, and then Jacques Rougeau just told Jimmy Hart to get in the picture with him. So I've got pictures of me just with the Rougeaus, and then I have pictures of me with the Rougeaus and Jimmy Hart.
And they didn't charge us anything to get pictures with them.
Well, I had paid so beforehand, but they didn't charge you.
Nope.
So, but the promoter was having such a bad day, he left.
Yeah.
I don't know where he went. He's a good dude. I'm not denigrating him at all. He's a good dude, but it was a bad day all around for him. Because I'm sure he lost money, out of it, because he paid those guys to be there, and. Well, I mean, he made money on the merch tables, but there was only like 3, so.
And we did pick up a couple of action figures from one of the other tables.
Yeah, I mean, I bought a couple things, but then he ended up buying stuff from me too.
Right.
And then the Samoan dude just bought whatever I had left on my table at the end of the day, and I wasn't,
Hey, at least you sold the Ronda Rousey action figure.
Yeah, thank God I sold that. But we were talking about video games, and then we went off on a tangent, but that's all right. That's what we do here. This game, not a lot of people know about the WCW games because they didn't have good merchandising back in the day. But WCW Super Brawl with Ric Flair, Sting, and Vader on the front. That's just really cool on the Super Nintendo. I never heard of FCI before, but some of these game companies, Yeah,
I figured 91.
Yeah. And I forgot Vader was even around there in 91.
I remember because he was the WCW champion in 93.
Okay.
And he's then at the end of 93 for Starrcade, he lost the belt to Ric Flair.
Yep.
Because I know that because I want the classic belt from 93. Because Ric Flair brought the original one over to WWF, if you remember.
I do. This game, done by LJN, who did the original WWF action figures back in the day, the rubber that wouldn't move. And, they were all stuck in the same position, but they're still cool anyways. But Royal Rumble, I love this game. I mean, Shawn Michaels, Yokozuna, Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect, Undertaker, and Bret Hart on the cover.
Yes.
No Hulk Hogan. This is a time when the other people were getting on these games, so that I enjoy that. Some of these games, the controls on them are horrible, especially these NES games. WrestleMania Challenge. I mean, how can you go wrong with...
Oh, it's got Hulk Hogan on it.
With Mutton Chop Andre the Giant on there. Big Boss Man, who I just bought the Funko Pop of. Ultimate Warrior, Macho King, Randy Savage.
Yes!
And Hulk Hogan in the middle. Of course Hulk Hogan's in the middle. He's the biggest star in the history of the business.
My all-time favorite Macho Man right there. The Macho King.
Macho King. And it makes me angry that when they did the Macho King Funko Pop, they put Macho Man Randy Savage on the packaging. You have him with the crown, with the scepter. Put him as Macho King.
Don't you have that somewhere around here?
I don't know where I have it, but I'm going into some of my PlayStation ones. You did not show this one. WCW NWO Thunder. A horrible TV show, but a great game.
Yes.
And, Goldberg, DDP.
Hey, but I got Nitro, but you got Thunder.
Yep, and the Giant on the cover.
So that means that you got the B-rated show.
Right. And you showed this one, WWF Warzone. They came on N64. They came on the PlayStation. Great stuff.
Yes.
This one we talked about on our last episode. Anarchy Rules. $40 I paid for it, but still awesome, awesome game. So what I want to do is I want to get new shinier cases to put these in, because some of these are pretty haggard.
This one's okay.
Yeah, this one I bought yesterday because I went back up to the video game store. Of course, we have it for the N64, which I saw the other day. But this, I saw it in the special case they had there, and the woman there, they're both Chinese, nothing wrong with that. But she kept asking him what the price was in Chinese, and finally he got mad and said $10. So I got Hardcore Revolution for $10.
That's not bad.
Nope, so that made me happy. This one brings back so many memories. This is not complete because I don't have the manual, but I am going to go on eBay and I am going to find the manual because I want this to be complete. WWF Super WrestleMania. What's the year? 1992. Woo! So this is right before Hulk Hogan leaves. And well, he leaves for a bit and then he comes back in 93, but...
Then he left again, then came back in 94 in WCW.
Yeah, but Papa Shango's on the cover.
Oh my God!
I mean, $1 Million Man, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, and then Hulk Hogan, and then a very pixelated, WrestleMania, background. But
is it at WrestleMania 7?
No. The background's WrestleMania 7 because they had a big lead time on these, but. Hulk Hogan's in there, Papa Shango, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, Shawn Michaels, Ted DiBiase, IRS, and the British Bulldog. How can you go wrong?
Right?
It's a Sega Genesis game. The game itself is pink. Bret Hart loves this, and he's not even in the game, and it's pink. So, that's really cool. This one is a very interesting game. WWF Raw. Now, why is it interesting? Well... This is the first WWF game where you could beat the crap out of a woman. Because Luna Vachon is a playable character in this game.
And this is the only time that she was featured in a WWE game.
Yes, indeed. This is a very, very arcade-style game. The finishers are ridiculous. Like when you do the whoopee cushion by doink.
Oh my God.
Like whoopee cushions or something comes out of his butt when he does it. And just like dollar signs come out when
it was like the Mortal Kombat of wrestling.
Right. It's and like you can use chairs and stuff in this game, which is really cool.
Nice.
But Bret Hart, Bam Bam Bigelow, the 1 2 3 Kid, Diesel, Doink the Clown, Lex Luger, Luna Vachon, Owen Hart. How many times do you hear of Owen Hart being in a game? Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, and Yokozuna.
You know that he was supposed to be in, I think, either Warzone or it was Attitude. Owen Hart was supposed to be in it, but they took him out of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Because it was right around the time when he passed away.
Well, okay, so this Super WrestleMania came out in 92. Raw comes out in 1994, so 2 years later. Super WrestleMania has...
And right there, proof right on the back. Right there's Owen Hart.
Yep. Has 8 wrestlers on the game. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 2 years later. It goes to show you what they did in these games to make them better. Added more people.
Oh my god, if you go to now, there's hundreds of the wrestlers.
Oh yeah, and you can create your own, so you can make even more. We talked about this on our last episode. SmackDown Just Bring It. The SmackDown games for the PS2 were always fun to play.
Yes.
These I bought... Well, go ahead.
I couldn't find... I gotta redig through my stuff.
Because he has a lot of stuff.
Yes, I do.
He has a lot of stuff.
WWE Legends of WrestleMania.
I don't remember that game.
It was on the PlayStation 3, that's why.
Okay.
That was so much fun. Then the campy version of WWE Superstars.
Oh yeah, didn't they do an All Stars one?
Yes, All Stars, where they look like they're on steroids.
That's the one where Macho Man did the promo, right? And that's the last.
Yes, that was the last video game that he did.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So he's in a new one called WrestleQuest, which is like a Japanese.
I wanted to tell you about that.
Yeah, I listen to Conrad Thompson's podcast, so I hear about it. But Jeff Jarrett was a part of it, and a bunch of legends like Bruiser Brody and Macho Man and stuff. It's a role-playing game. You can get it on your phone. You can get it on all kinds of game systems.
I found it on PlayStation 5. I'm waiting for the price to drop on it. I want to fucking get it.
Yeah. Hey, we're not going to be able to share this one now.
Oh, no.
All right, so...
Well, I want to get it because it looks really interesting.
I'm not much into role-playing games, but I'll probably try it if it's not that expensive. Right. These I bought a couple weeks ago or at the video game store that we go to. Legends of Wrestling 1 and 2. Yes. I mean, they're so over the top, but this one has Andy Kaufman in it. If you don't know anything about Andy Kaufman, look up Memphis Wrestling and you'll see some really weird stuff about Andy Kaufman and Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh, God,
but
yes.
They got Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino's in that one, Terry Funk, Jerry the King Lawler, the Road Warriors, even Rob Van Dam's considered a legend, at this point in 2001. So, you can't go wrong there.
Please tell me that we get to play these sometime.
Oh, we will. We definitely will. SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, going with the SmackDown games again. Great game, great.
My absolute favorite.
Really?
Yes.
All right. This one is a new game. I still haven't opened it yet. AEW Fight Forever. We played a little bit of it. I've still got a couple of the
You only beat me once on there.
Yeah, I know, because you cheat. But this is a great game. I mean, I played it.
You'll probably win today with a lot of the older ones.
Now, some don't know this is a wrestling game. But this is a tremendous wrestling game. Def Jam Vendetta. Now, if you want to talk about a fun, the story mode in this is awesome. I mean, Method Man is in here. Redman is in here. A bunch of rappers are in this. This is a really fun game to play.
And they came out with a second one.
Yeah, I've never played the second one. I want to get a new case for this because it's all looked like somebody's dog chewed on it.
I want to see if I can find both of them.
This is a really, really good game. Definitely one you should check out.
Hell yeah.
This jerk had to find, and I ended up paying $45 for it. But it's worth it. One of the greatest. This, if No Mercy is 1, this is 1A. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Arguable that this is one of the greatest.
Because this is when they started introducing the legends into the wrestling games.
Yeah, and the creative wrestler mode in that one was really, really good.
Yes.
And the controls got better. This one,
a less known one.
I never thought this would happen when I first started watching TNA, and I was so happy when I found out it was coming out. TNA Impact. And if you don't know, the character Suicide from TNA comes out of this game. This game is a lot of fun to play, and they were going to make a second one, but Midway went out of business. They were they had a deal in place. They were going to make a second one, and Midway went out of business. But the fact that a company that's still around, that they said wouldn't last 6 months or 6 years, has been around longer than Ted Turner's own WCW, longer than because Ring of Honor took a hiatus for a while. They've been around. This company has been around for almost 22 years, and people said it wouldn't last 22 months. It's called Impact Wrestling now. It's gone through a lot of different owners and stuff, but the fact that it's had a video game is amazing.
Not only for the PlayStation 2, but they had this for the PlayStation 3 also.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was on the PS3 as well.
Yep. This is back when they started calling it TNA Impact too.
Yep. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, 07, 08 was really an amazing time for TNA. Their video game was doing well, and their trading cards were just...
You love the trading cards.
Dude, the trading cards were selling like crazy because if you bought a hobby box, you were getting, I think it was guaranteed 2 autographs and a memorabilia card in every box.
Nice.
Hang on. Talk a little bit more. I got something I got to show. Speaking of that. Figure something else to talk about.
You sure about that?
Yes. Talk.
Well, I'm freaking eating.
Well, then you suck. Oh.
There you go.
Speaking of the trading cards, to show you how many memorabilia and autograph cards you would get in a box, look at this. This is one of my pride and joy. I had this framed at Hobby Lobby. They do a great job. I like the Beautiful People. I've met both of them. And, I mean, look, I've got Kiss cards, memorabilia cards, autograph cards, more memorabilia cards, another dual autograph card. This is a one-of-a-kind piece. Nobody else has this because I had it made myself. This, to me, shows what TNA did with their trading cards. It is just remarkable, the value that you got from buying a box.
And we have had that hung up behind us before.
We have, yeah. This room is a mess, and I just hadn't hung it up. The last game I want to talk about, this game never gets talked about unless they say it's a crap game. I say it's not a crap game. I think it's a fun game to play. It's a wrestling game, but really has nothing to do with it.
Oh, yes!
WWE Crush Hour. Now, it sounds like, it just might be a generic, pay-per-view name. No. This is a wrestling game with monster trucks.
Yes!
There is no wrestling. You use monster trucks. The Undertaker has a monster truck-like motorcycle.
Nice.
This is from 2003. I love this game. It's not great. It's fun to play.
I used to have this on the GameCube.
But if you like wrestling games and you want to play, you want to wrestle, don't pick up this game because this is all playing monster trucks and they're all themed and everything. It's 30 WWE supercars,
right?
And there's a story mode, granted, and everything. But I love that game, and
if you want a good campy wrestling game with monster trucks,
why can't you? It says layeth the rubber down.
Yes,
Rob Van Dam's on the cover with The Rock. I paid $10 for this. How can you go wrong? And it's complete with the manual, and there's a tire on the actual disc itself.
Oh my God.
Bubba Ray, Chris Benoit's in here, so that's, But, I forgot how small the GameCube discs were.
And this is complete with the booklet.
Yep.
And, oh my God, even a GameCube booklet, too.
Oh, yeah, because, you don't want to set your GameCube on fire. So
this is super complete.
I have more wrestling games that I have to find, and he does too.
Yeah.
We will talk. We're going to do another video games episode. We just kind of wanted to do a short video game ish episode about mostly wrestling video games and talk about the ones that we have. So
And the ones that we don't have, but I want to talk about,
yep.
that are exclusive to the Xbox, WWF Raw, then WWE Raw 2,
Yep.
which was the very last wrestling game featuring Crash Holly.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And this is just after he left, and he went to TNA Wrestling.
Okay.
It was just before he passed away, too.
Yep. And there's a lot of other games.
Oh,
that,
yes.
I mean, there's other WCW games that WCW versus the World and
Yep.
WCW World Tour. Did we show World Tour?
Yes, we did.
Okay. But we're going to talk more about these games. We just kind of, I mean, we've been going for a little over half an hour just showing off our games and talking about them a little bit. We are going to do another one talking about more games. And it gets very nostalgic for me because I'm 42. I've been playing video games since I was like 7. And to me, I like owning the physical copy. To me, there's nothing more fun than putting the cartridge or putting the disc in the system and starting it and watching it boot up and playing it. Don't get me wrong, I like digital games as well, but to me, the fun part is getting it to load up and
You want to bring up the Crush Hour again?
Okay.
Because they almost have the same look to it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I mean, the PS2 had a lot of those, like Burnout and like the ATV games and stuff like that.
They were Big Mother Trucker was on there.
See, these I think were an answer to like games like NFL Blitz.
Yes.
Where it had to be no holds barred and they just had to be wacky, extreme type games. I think that's where a lot of these came from. And plus, somebody said kids like monster trucks, kids like WWE. It'll be easy to make because I'm sure the graphics were easy to make on this. You didn't have to come up with wrestling moves. You just had to come up with the mechanics of the cars.
Back in the day, believe it or not, your favorite game, Vice City, was made in 6 months.
That's surprising, actually.
Yep, it was 6 months they took to develop that.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it was originally supposed to be a DLC to the Grand Theft Auto 3.
Wow. And it became a full-fledged game.
Yes.
One of the greatest games ever made. I would say N64 No Mercy is the greatest game made of all time. Vice City may be second, in my opinion. I mean, I know you like San Andreas.
Yes.
And, the Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5. But to me, Vice City is the best one they did. And
should we talk about the shirts that we're wearing?
What, my Spider-Man shirt that I just wore to have underneath my Donkey Kong? Yeah.
Then, if you want to read it.
Read this. I was forced to put my controller down and re-enter society. Nobody wanted you to re-enter society. So that shirt is irrelevant. And I wore the Donkey Kong, necktie because I find cool stuff on Etsy and I thought it fit. So, I mean, we got Sonic behind us.
Yes.
And, we like to keep up with the theme on this show. Like, you would say, oh, we're talking about wrestling games. That's why the Funkos are here. My old school Sega Genesis, It Doesn't Work, is sitting here. And we wanted to talk about some wrestling games, talk about a couple other games, and just have a good time. Now we're going to go up, play some games, and we'll put those as separate videos up when I get the chance, because there's still a couple that we did before that I haven't had a chance to put up yet. So I might actually do that before I upload this.
Yes. I do definitely want you to try, like, the Arkham series and stuff like that, to let me know what you think about it, and then we can talk about it.
Right. Once I dive into the Xbox, when I, have the time to do it.
Yep. I still got to factory reset it for you, so you can get it all set up with your profile and everything.
Yep. I'm probably going to have to wait until I have like 3 or 4 days off in a row to really dive into the Xbox, but it is something I definitely want to do.
And they are having a big sale right now with some of their games. Most of the Call of Duty games are on sale there right now.
I'm not much for first-person shooters, but I might give those a try.
Hell, I gave Call of Duty a try when I got the Xbox 360. fell in love with it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing is, you don't know if you're gonna like a game or not unless you start playing it.
Exactly.
So, you know. But I don't really have anything else. We're gonna go up, play some games, and check out our social media at Cheap Pop Show. We're on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and Instagram.
Are we on Spotify or no?
No, we don't. This is the only platform that our show is on. Because the video, I think, because we show things off,
Yeah,
like
true.
doing audio, you know, I've been down that road before, and it was kind of confusing at times when, you know, we were showing things off, and the people that were listening to just the audio couldn't really see what was going on. So, you know, maybe at some point we might actually do all audio, you know, reviews or something, and we might put those up on a podcast platform.
But we like showing stuff off.
Right, and you know, we got to get your pretty face out there, you know, so. So, at Cheap Pop Show on social media, cheappops.redbubble.com for our merchandise, t-shirts, stickers. We have a bunch of logos. I've still got to upload the newest one that we have of a takeoff of the Street Profits logo.
Oh shoot! And we don't have that shirt, so we can show what the
right.
logo
Well, I
looks
only
like.
have one. Mikey Cheese has the first one.
Yes,
made,
Mikey does have the first one.
Yep.
I still want to say thank you to him for the Hulk Hogan action figure.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing a lot more. We're going to try to record more often. We found it easier to just do it, you know, after he's done working on one of my days off. We don't have to do full, huge episodes each time.
No.
So, right now, we're just going to go play some games, and thanks for checking us out on Cheap Pops.